Hey guys, it's JH. Welcome to the practice tee. Beautiful day today, very hot but beautiful. Fantastic. It's just tough when it's so hot, guys. But I guess you guys are over in the freezing cold would probably like a little bit of what I'm experiencing. Okay guys, just a couple of things. Carrying on, just the theme for Channel Lock for this year is that we're going to revise, explain, get down to intrinsic details about all facets of the golf, of the Channel Lock golf swing. Okay, we'll just go through every video, guys, the basis of the thing. So the measuring out is done this way. The handle of the club always stays in line with the trail leg. We move in there, we get the weight on that trail leg, then we just bring this lead one up for balance, and it's essentially just getting the lead hip out there into hip lock, and then flaring that trail foot if you want to. Now it would look like the ball's moved up, guys, but it hasn't, because my foot is just flared. So that's the basic tenets of the setup. And of course, when we take the club back, we've got our arms over our chest, and we just push it back with our upper arm and our chest. We push the chest against the hand there, and it gives us that little bit of lag, negative lag loading, which is really important, guys. You really can't ever take the golf club away with your hands and think, I'm going to put it in position. At the end of the day, in any golf swing, the club must be swung into position in the backswing. It's the radial inertial motion of doing that will position the golf club automatically on plane. You don't have to do anything about it, because it's almost like a centrifuge, and you've got that centrifugal force operating on the center, and we've got our astronaut out here in the capsule at the extremity of the centrifuge. This is the center of the centrifuge, and that's our astronaut out there in the capsule when he's getting his G loading tests. Right, so, and of course that's what we do, guys. This is the center of the centrifuge. We just push away. We push away, and the big lever arm on the centrifuge is the club head, is the shaft, and the club head is the little capsule. All right, now, someone asked, and I think it was Rick Heidman. Rick asked about the intricacies or the absolutes of what I actually do to start the downswing. And I think that's important for everybody. Okay guys, once I've swung the golf club back up here, and it gets up here, really what I feel like happens is that my shoulders stay there, facing there, and my arms just drop. They drop downwards and backwards like that. Downwards, backwards, and outwards. But all the time my shoulders feel like they're facing over there. Then I'm moving, and that's the quiet body. That's the quiet body aspect, and the arms just swinging past a quiet body. We don't want any intervention in the downswing of the body. Like, we don't want any of that. No drive or shove or push. We just want the body to support, stabilise the free arm swing down here. There it is here. We had that ribbon across here, guys, and this was a katana sword. Remember, we're just coming down and we're just cutting the ribbon while our shoulders are facing over there. Now it feels like that. It won't be like that in actuality. You'll get a little bit of the shoulders turning a little bit, but the main thing is that we maintain closed shoulders. And it doesn't matter if it's only 5 degrees, guys, by the time we get to the golf ball, because if the shoulders are closed, the club is going to travel into out, and you have to have that in channel lock. That's the reality. Now when I get to the top, and this is for you, Rick, when I get to the top and I start that down, when I say I just drop the club, I feel everything is dropping. I'm not doing that. I'm not losing height, but I feel that there's like a loading, a vertical loading going down into the ground, into my knees and my legs. They're the shock absorbers. So this force of the arms dropping and the mass dropping is supported by my legs in that bent knees positioning here. So when I get to here, I just drop it into a body. I don't want to drop it into a body that's just totally stilted like that and can't support or stabilise the club on the downswing. I don't want to do that. I want the mass of the arms and the club to drop down into soggy legs or soggy knees. That's what I want to happen. Mr. X and I are still amazed at the guy we had here yesterday. He's a 54-year-old guy, about 6'3" or 6'4". Unbelievable body, looks like a gymnast. And when he pulled up, he was showing us how he only eats meat, this guy. He's an amazing guy. I mean, you've never seen a body like it. Only eats meat. He's a protein guy. And eggs and things like that, but not a vegetable guy at all. And he's got reasons for that, and I understand what they are, and I'm going to actually look at that. But the body, like we said, everybody wants a 6-pack. He had about an 18-pack. Just fantastic specimen, 54-year-old. And here's a guy that not that long ago, maybe I think he said 15 years ago, or maybe it might have been a bit longer than that, he couldn't even get on the ground with his kids and move around because he was so unflexible. And now he's got amazing flexibility. I think I can train him up that he will have more speed than Mr. X because he's got longer levers and he's a big guy and an amazing athletic type body. So he's told me a couple of things that I'm going to put into my training this year, and particularly my diet. I'm a terrible, awful diet person, guys. I only eat when I'm hungry, and most of the time I'll just eat not much stuff, and I hardly eat any meat at all. It's not that I don't like it, I just don't eat it. But I've got to get back into it. Now, it's just an aside, but he was amazing. If you watch this video, Bradley, we're talking about you, buddy. And I tell you, he's got some potential. This guy could really hit it. At the moment, he's using about 30-40% of his power because he's scared to hit the ball. And this is another point. Because he said to me, he said, JH, I'm only making a little backswing. He was hardly making any shoulder turn. And he can make it because he's very flexible. He said, I'm only making a little because when I get up here, I feel like I'm out of control. Now, he would have felt that in the conventional golf swing. And he's basically schooled himself into having that shorter golf swing because of the inefficiency of the old conventional golf swing. But now, once I get him indoctrinated and set up geometry-wise and mechanics-wise of channel lock, he can take the club back as far as he likes because he'll be stabilised. And that's part of this here. Part of this discussion here is the stabilisation. So once we take that club to the top and we push it back here and it just drops, I'm dropping it into my knees here. I don't want to go down like that, but I just want to have a little bit of drop so that I've got a little bit of support in those knees. If I don't drop into those knees will be a bit wobbly. I just want to drop into those knees. Just drop into them here. So for you, Rick, when I get to the top, when you say, do you really drop it? I do actually think I want to drop it. I get here and I think I want to drop it. Now it all happens quicker than that, but to get the feeling of it, guys, just set yourself up here in your channel lock, take the club to the top of the swing, keep your shoulders closed, and just drop your arms like that 4 or 5 times. As you drop it to here, move the arms out there. Drop it to here, move the arms out there. Drop it to here, move the arms out there. And do that 6 or 12 times, and then you'll get the feeling of the shoulders staying shut while the arms drop. And for you, Rick, that's what I feel. That's what I actually feel. I don't have any drive in the body, but I have a little bit of what I call shock absorbing support in the legs. I don't want the legs really stilted and stickman type. Now the other thing, guys, something you can do, and I mentioned this to Bill Phillips today, just in the communique, and I call this the kangaroo address position. And for people who are not familiar with a kangaroo's anatomical makeup, if you look at a kangaroo side on, if I'm a kangaroo and I haven't got a tail, but a kangaroo's got their feet are about that long. They're extraordinary. And they basically just sit into those feet there, and because the feet are so long, they've got all this weight on their heel. That's how they sit. They sit into that heel there, and the foot is out there. But if I could do a weight loading, if I could put some scales under the feet of a kangaroo, I'd do that one day, if I can get a willing kangaroo. I'm sure that I would see that when they're sitting there like that, that they would have probably 60 or 70% of their loading in their heel. So the reason I mention that, okay, we haven't got feet that long, but we can pretend that we've got feet that long, and we can pretend that when we set up into the ball here at address, that we've got kangaroo feet, that those feet are out there, and we're sitting back into that heel here. And if we had a kangaroo tail, that kangaroo tail is on the ground there. And guys, that's how you want to, I promise you, that's how you want to feel when you hit the ball. You're in that kangaroo position there. The weight's on the heels. You feel like you've got long feet out there. The knees are bent, or the legs are bent, which the kangaroos have got that type of articulation. And they seem to be sitting back. Okay, they're trying to sit on their tail, I guess. But they would definitely have 80% of their weight on their heels. Now, if we can get that there and maintain that through the hit, look how flexible the legs become and look when I do that. And the good thing is, guys, clearly the good thing is that if we're back here and we're firing out here, we're counterbalancing that force that's going out here. Here's all that force going out there. This is the counterbalance to that force. So we're not going to get pulled into the ball, and we're not going to have the shoulders wanting to roll. So we'll call it the kangaroo stance. And just have a look at a kangaroo, and have a look at a kangaroo side on when they're just sitting there. Pull it up on Google. But it just made sense to me. I thought, now there's stability, and you could just see it. And he just looks like this. The kangaroo just looks like this. That's what he looks like. Now, I thought about this morning because I just saw a kangaroo come up on my computer, and I haven't tried this. But I think it'd be fantastic. And I believe that no matter how much you try and counterbalance back over here, which Mo Norman told me he did. Mo said, club is going there, he's going here. That's why he had that look about him. Now guys, he had that look about him, didn't he? Mo Norman had that look about him. And that's because this was going that way and the weight was into the heels. And that's why he was able to keep his feet on the ground as well as he did. So we'll try the kangaroo stance. There's quite a few kangaroos around here. There was one up here the other day, just up by the fence up there. I was going to turn the camera around, but he just hopped away. He had to hop off and do something. Okay, so watch this, guys. First hit of the day, kangaroo stance. So I'm back in, sitting on my tail. If I had a tail out here, I'm trying to sit on it. You wouldn't believe that. And I know there's a guy out there that keeps saying that he hates hearing that. Keeps saying, well, you say it's a good shot. And it's, we don't know it's a good shot. Well, let me tell you guys, there's no reason for me to say it is a good shot. Everyone around here knows me, and they know they're good shots. And the guy that came here yesterday, Bradley, was his first time here. And it was a treat for him because Mr. X turned up. And Mr. X hit some shots, and he put on an exhibition. He was hitting shots with his eyes closed for Bradley before we went on camera. And I think if Brad might just put a post up on the channel, and Brad, if you're watching this, you might just put a post on the channel and just tell everybody how good Mr. X hits it. I mean, it's an exhibition. I mean, he's a machine, but he's a channel lock machine. There's no, guys, there's no subterfuge here. What we say and what we do is what we do. The ball fly we get is what we get. And Bradley was first time person here yesterday, so he can attest to what Mr. X did. Mr. X was just killing it, and he took Bradley's driver and just killed it as well. So yeah, guys, we for the guys out there, or the guy out there that says, you know, I don't believe your ball flight, I don't really care. But I can tell you that was a perfect golf shot, and that was a kangaroo stance. Here we go. And the other guy that said I put in too much blah 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 in my presentation, I'm not Steven Spielberg, and this is not $1 million production. It's JH on the practice tee telling you what he does. That's what it is, guys. There's a lot of blah 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 in it, but that's the way it's going to be. I think most of the time the blah 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 is relative to important information. It's important, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here we go. We're sitting back on our kangaroo tail. Guys, I'm adhering to my New Year resolution, and that resolution was to improve my tempo. And I think you'd have to agree that's good tempo. And that's the kangaroo. Kangaroo, back here, guys. Trying to sit on my kangaroo tail when I hit it, and that gets my arms going out. And I've got a buddy in London, a dear friend. If you're watching this, Besto, great guy. Bigger golf nut as I am. Never met the guy, but we've had 6,000 emails between us, and I just feel like he's a brother. We're just I don't know, we're just soulmates. And Esto said the other day, he said, JH, you look like, when you're over the ball, you look like a dog that's covering up his droppings with all your fiddling and shuffling. And I said to Esto, I told Esto the reason for that. Guys, when I'm in here and I'm doing my shuffling or covering up my dog's business, yeah? When I'm in here and I'm doing my shuffling, you know what that is? That's giving me the time to go through my protocol countdown, my sequencing. That's what that's doing. I told Esto that, but that's for you guys. That's why I do that. I get the feature, and that means that, and I don't do a lot all the time because the channel lock protocol will come to me quicker sometimes and more fully on occasion than it does on other occasions. And I won't start my backswing until I've got that protocol countdown sequence in my mind. And that's why sometimes I will do a little bit of dog business covering. And there'll be a little bit more on some because I'm not quite bringing up the protocol sequencing. And guys, I will never ever start my golf swing until I've got that sequence in my mind. And that's why the swing becomes almost infallible. I just won't start it until that happens. I just refuse to do that. So if you see me sort of, you know, I might even take an extra couple of nods here because I'm programming. And someone else, Craig Guthrie posted today, and he said, JH, you know, a lot of people might construe your new slogan or your new motto, which is just keep at it. He said that may convey to some people that channel lock's difficult to learn and you've got to keep at it more than you would on a normal golf swing. Well guys, the keep at it means that you've got to keep on it all the time. So when you get here, don't ever have any golf swing, not one, where you think you're going to get a natural reaction, a natural response, because I promise you it doesn't happen. It might happen infrequently, but it's a fluke. When I say keep at it, I mean keep in your mind the commitment and the diligence to counting down your protocol. When you get in here, keep at it, keep at that protocol. Don't let that protocol escape. Feel like it's exactly the same all the time. Don't ever let it escape. That's what it is. We keep at it. We keep at the protocol and bringing the protocol forward. And I will never have a willy-nilly golf swing where I just hit the ball for the sake of hitting it. I've got to have that protocol coming out. And that's the keep at it. You've got to keep on that. If you don't keep at it, that you won't get the protocol coming out. That's the diligence. If channel lock has a requirement, guys, it's a requirement for diligence and commitment. You have to do it. You have to think about it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And the good thing about it, I know that when I come here any day, and like today, I know they're coming over here. Before I start and I'm setting up the camera, all I'm doing is rehearsing my protocol. I'm starting to think about it. I'm at it at that time. I'm at the protocol at that time. So that's what that keep at it is, guys. You've got to keep at thinking about the protocol and the sequencing of it. So here we're going to our kangaroo stance, hip lock. Wow. Now that's something I don't get a lot. That's what I call clamp. That's the sort of thing you'll see Bobby Clampett do, where you're getting the club on the ball and you're springing it into the ground like that. I don't do that. I'm a sweeper most of the time. But that just sprung the shaft. I thought the shaft was going to break. So I got a lot of download on that. Huge amount of download on that. Now that was basically this, guys. It gets in there and it just flings the club off the face, which is very Hogan-esque. Not that I've got any relativity to Hogan. The only Hogan I've got relativity to is probably Paul Hogan or Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan more in the look of the swing. But guys, that's interesting because I never ever clamp the ball and get the club into the ground after the ball. I don't do that. But I got a lot of clamp, and that was just, whew, that was motoring. So I must have had a lot of stability at address there. So back on the tail, gunslinger. And away we go. Got to get the tempo. See, I've got no trouble keeping the feet down now. I'm exaggerating keeping the feet down because I'm trying to implant that into my golf swing. I won't have that much foot down in my play swing. This is just to implant and program. Sit back. But I can keep the feet down, and I can keep the legs flexed. Kangaroo. I don't know, guys. I think that tempo is pretty good. So I'm just clipping the ball. That's more me. It's just a little clip rather than a dig. Well, it's not a dig. It's always a clamp. I don't clamp it. Mr. X used to clamp it so much that this place used to look like a couple of landmines had gone off after practice. Now he doesn't touch the ground at all. He's like me. And he's hitting it better than I am. He should. He's 30 years younger, or 33 years younger. Okay, here we go. On the tail, JH, on the kangaroo tail. Nice tempo. Not moving. And if the guy that's watching it that hates that, bad luck. You're not moving, buddy. You can ask to see my golf flight all the time. It doesn't matter. My ball flight's irrelevant to you. All I ask people to do is try this golf swing. The way I hit the ball is the way I hit it. You've got to see if the swing works for you. And my ball flight, there's no relevance to it to anybody else. I'd love to show it to you, but you can't do it here. We might get it later on. I don't know, we might get it today. There's a bit of blue sky there. Come on, watch this. Okay, Jay. Nice big backswing. Sit on the tail. That's as good as I want to hit it. You don't see anybody playing golf like that, do you? With the feet down? You don't see anyone playing like that. You don't see anyone playing like that. Because no one's doing channel lock. And for my buddy Steve Walters, who's coming back from a knee reconstruction, and I was just today I saw him first time back, and I thought, oh no, Steve, because I know what those knees are like. And but for him, because Steve now doesn't have to worry about getting onto a lead knee and supporting the lead knee with rotation, have to worry about that anymore. It's not there. As a matter of fact, for Steve, he can just play golf off the trail side. He can just sit into the trail side and play golf off the trail side. He can get up here, unload that foot there, which is what I suggest you do, Steve, if you're watching. Unload it, get in here, sit on the kangaroo tail, and just do that, Big Steve. Wow. That was fantastic. Fantastic. I mean, that's just, the contact there is so good. Must be driving that guy crazy. That doesn't like me saying that. Well, I'm going to hit, for that guy, I'm going to hit the best shot I've ever hit in my life. This is the greatest shot that I've ever hit. This is going to go unbelievably good. That'll drive the guy nuts. Hey, he's probably a nice guy, but I don't know why they come on and, and try and, I don't know. There's no need to be like that. Just accept it for what it is, guys. If you were paying me, $350 a lesson, you can come in and you can get on my case. But you can't come and get on my case when you're not paying me anything. I'm doing this for nothing. I'm giving you the opportunity to have a great swing. When you're paying me $350 a lesson, then I'll listen to you. Till then, but that's not true. There are lots of people I listen to, but they're constructive and they're genuine. But I'm not going to have criticism levelled at me when you're not paying me to take it. Pay me $350 an hour, I'll take it. I'll sit there and you can abuse me for $350 an hour. Well, maybe for a couple of hours. I might put the rate up to $500 if you're really going to abuse me. Okay, watch this, guys. My hands are so wet. Watch this. Kangaroo tail. Wow. Kangaroo tail. And for Rick Heidman, just dropping it there, buddy. Okay, guys, now again, revising. It's going to be a long video, but there's always a lot of stuff in it. Now, guys, at the end of the day, what you've got to do on occasions is review your intention to hit into out. And if you could just put a tee out here, on some practice sessions, and try and hit it. Put it out on that angle and try and hit it. Because you've got to really feel that you've got more intention to hit into out than you really do have in the golf swing. You overdo it and you get the amount that you need. Because if you don't get that commitment in there all the time, you'll actually lose it. Now, today my swing thought is really stay back and fire the arms away and get a lot of into out. Now I feel like I've got that much into out, like I'm hitting a little cover drive in cricket, like a dab down cover drive. That's what I feel. I'm going that way. Okay, kangaroo tail. For that guy, that's the greatest shot I've ever hit. I know that's going to annoy you. Oh, sure, I don't want to annoy anyone. But buddy, you've got to understand, no point in asking to see my ball flight. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. There's lots of videos of my ball flight. But it's irrelevant because it's my ball, it's not yours. You've got to be able to do this golf swing and get the ball flight that you're happy with. If you could be happy with my ball flight but then not get it, what's the point? That's the whole point of my argument to your argument. Okay, watch this guy. Kangaroo tail, gunslinger. I'm glad Bill Phillips has found the gunslinger. Gunslinger, we started off gunslinger with Da Vinci Code, where we used to do that. But gunslinger is great for me because having gunslinger, it gets the club inside the ball for me at address, and it makes sure that I have to hit into out. I can't do anything else. I've got to hit into out because the club's actually a little bit inside the ball. So for me, it gives me that insurance policy that I've got to hit into out or I won't reach the golf ball. So from that point of view, it's great. All right, now I'll just let the swing just ease a little bit. Kangaroo tail. Now there's nothing wrong with the shot. The shot was perfect. But the tempo was up. And you know why the tempo was up? Because I wasn't thinking about it. That's the one thing I've got to add to my protocol. To my 5 protocol points, I've got to put the tempo in. And maybe the last one is tempo. And tempo for me is just a full turn. That's all it is, guys. Kangaroo tail. Sit down. See, there's the clamp again. So I must be getting a lot of download to get that amount of clamp. I don't get clamp on the ball. I just don't get clamp. So 2 things are happening. I'm not releasing as early as I normally do. And I've just got a bit more speed on. Because that was actually clamped. I mean, the ball was here, the divot's over here. I mean that's really strong clamp, and I don't normally get that. So I don't really want it, but I mean it just shows that I'm actually pressuring the shaft a little bit more. Okay, come on, kangaroo tail. That's perfect. Okay guys, there's just a few things there. I had a couple of other things, but I've forgotten them. I'll just hit, just bear with me. Sorry to walk away, guys. You'd think by now that I would have worked out to bring the clubs over. I just hit a drive, guys, with the kangaroo tail. I just hit a drive with the kangaroo tail. It's a drive with the kangaroo tail. Wow. Wow. Well, we'll put a lot of kangaroo tail into this. Golf swing's the same, guys. The approach is the same. Setting's the same. Get in here. Okay guys, long video but a bit of stuff in there, and I think just work on that kangaroo. They've got the tail, he's trying to put the tail on the ground. To put the tail on the ground, he's got to get back on his heels, and he's got to stay there because he doesn't want the tail to come off the ground. Okay guys, just a long video, but I think there's some good things in there.